My horrible husband accused me of wanting to be paid as a mother and insist that we pay rent equally. His perspective changed when he worked from home. When we moved in together when I was 25, we were splitting our rent evenly. I was making $65K and he was making $80K, and we live in a large city. It didn't really make a huge difference in my budget versus his to split rent 50-50 for $2,600 a month rent. However, things have changed. I got pregnant a few months after we got married. I didn't want to not work, but I wanted to be home with our baby, so I found a full-time remote job in my field of work. The downside is I took a cut to my salary from $65K to $50K. We continued to split the rent in our apartment. My husband, between being 26 and 30, has received a number of raises and has switched his job. He is now a senior business analyst, making roughly $195K a year. Since we were having a child, we were going to need a bigger apartment. We found a 3-bedroom for $4,000 per month. He still wanted to split the rent evenly, despite my protests, and despite my wanting to try to find a smaller apartment for less. In the end, I sort of let myself get walked over because he really is such a smooth talker and I do love him. Anyway, flash forward 2.5 years, our rent has increased to $4,400. My take-home pay monthly after taxes is roughly $3,600. I am paying $2.2K monthly in rent. I am also taking care of our baby and our home, doing chores, and cooking daily. My husband works from 8 to 6 but typically doesn't get home until 7. I am burnt out. I barely have enough money per month to do things I enjoy. I feel like I am financially struggling while my husband is living a life of luxury. Yes, he does take me out on dates and on vacation, but he doesn't seem to understand that this is not enough for me. I spoke to him 2 days ago very seriously, and when I asked about trying to split rent based on our income and pay an equal percentage of our income so that it is more fair than fully equal, his reaction stunned me. He asked me why having $1.6K extra a month wasn't enough for me. I told him I'm not saving anything. He told me I should spend less on extracurricular activities, which makes me laugh because what extracurricular activities? All I do is work, cook, clean, shop for the house, and raise our child. I told him I was basically working 2 full-time jobs at once and I needed help. Then he asked me if I was suggesting he pay me for being a mother, and that stunned me. I really had no response to that. Anyway, he told me that this is the lifestyle we agreed on when we moved in together way back when. However, he doesn't seem to understand, or rather does not want to understand. Now he is mad with me because he thinks I am being selfish and has been acting cold to me these past few days. I am getting the itch to apologize and take it back like I always do, but I really feel I am right here. Update. I want to preface this by saying we are still together to this day and we've welcomed a new child to the world, this time in a much healthier environment. COVID changed a lot for me. My husband moved to work from home. That perspective shift changed a lot for him when he said what I had to deal with day to day, things I could never properly communicate about how difficult it is to work while raising a child and what I brought to the table that he could never see. Despite his newfound appreciation for me, I still found myself resenting him. It was in June that I finally proposed that we go to couples counseling, after doing my own virtual therapy sessions since March, from which I learned about why I let people step over me based on my childhood and past and how to overcome that. To my surprise, my husband agreed, and so we've been in weekly counseling since, even to this day. It helped him get to the root of his fears and address why he has trouble trusting me financially, which had less to do with me and more to do with what he was brought up believing and had been instilled with. After coming to the point of telling him I wouldn't want to continue building a family or a life with him where he watched me struggle from luxury, with the help of our amazing counselor who guided us, my husband was willing to adjust our lifestyle to be more equal. I'm not saying everything was or is magically perfect. I know people wanted an update where I left my evil husband and took my baby to start a new life, but I did marry this man for a reason. I saw the good and past this struggle we've had to overcome. He's become the man I knew I'd married. We now have a joint bank account as well as our own on the side. We each put 2/3 of our income into the shared account and get to keep 1/3 for ourselves. It's still a road to recovery, but we have more trust between us and are no longer living a 50-50 lifestyle.